Now to an NBC Connecticut Investigates exclusive. We first told you about a former Connecticut state trooper who was fired after an internal investigation.
Now she has been decertified. That means she cannot serve as a law enforcement officer in Connecticut. Amber Diaz is here with what happened here. Amber.
Hey, Mike Keisha, we've been following this case since 2022. Catherine Koeppel did show up for this morning's hearing, but left when she saw our camera.
She was absolutely certain and texted and communicated with absolute certainty that she hit a deer to all of her supervisors that night.
This is the hearing that officially ended Catherine Koeppel's career in law enforcement after crashing into a vehicle, but reporting it as hitting a deer. She was fired after an internal investigation into that crash in 2022. On the night of July 24th, then Sergeant Koeppel was off duty in her state-issued vehicle.
So I just hit a deer on Route 7 North.
Okay.
I'm good. I drove home, but I just want to report the damage.
State police also got a call from a woman who reported she was rear-ended twice in the same area, and the other driver took off.
She said that night I knew I was in trouble.
Body camera footage from that night shows troopers knocking on Koeppel's door. There's no answer. The damaged Dodge Charger is in the driveway. 3 days later, Koeppel was issued a summons for misdemeanor charges of evading and following too closely. Those charges were dismissed after Koeppel completed a diversionary program for first-time offenders.
In this case,
her attorney, Jean Zingaro, said Thursday that Koeppel knows she made a mistake, but never lied during the internal investigation.
when presented with the correct information, has never once said under oath that she believed that this was an animal strike.
He also explained why she left before the hearing started.
She wanted the board to hear. She wanted the board to hear her. Unfortunately, she just started a new job and feels that being on NBC tonight is not going to help her keep her new job. And so she's opted not to appear before the board.
After the hearing, Zingaro told us both he and his client are disappointed by the outcome.
She accepts the termination, but was hoping that she would be free to at least seek other law enforcement opportunities, as it's all she ever wanted to do.
Now, he declined our request for a copy of the statement she planned to make. The board said that Koeppel's conduct undermined confidence in law enforcement.
Whatever. She has an answer. What are you going to do? Try one more time?
photos?
Yeah. Over here at the TV.
I don't know how the flash is on this, if you don't mind. I'll turn it off for 1 second. Let's see how it looks without it.
Units westbound 25 area looking for a erratic operation on black Jeep Cherokee with Connecticut plates. Newer model, no plate. Multiple 236 violations.
Yeah, try. How about your spotlight? Yeah. Now try it with the spotlight. Try it with the spotlight now. That thing ain't too bright. Better than nothing. You got your light on there too? There you go. No, I forgot to get this corner. I gotta take another one in the front because I don't know how well lighted it was. Alright, that's done. I'll try one more time so nobody can say that we didn't try. Nothing, Miles? All right. I gotta go back, obviously, do some paperwork, so I'll just meet you there. Yeah. Let them know. Hi, Katie. Okay. So before we do this, I already spoke to your attorney, but I just want to make sure, just so they can document this. So you do not want to give a statement or answer any questions, right? Okay. Okay. So you've been charged with following too close and evading. All right. It's $500 non-surety bond. Obviously, this is one of the motor vehicle charges where a bond is required. Okay. Appearance date tonight, August 9th. Okay. Same thing, obviously. You want to check, make sure all that information is correct.
Yeah.
Good? Okay.
That's fine.
All right. And it's GA3, right?
Yeah, GA3 it is, yes.
Okay. All right, then same thing for that. Again, by standing at the bond, doesn't state you're guilty, just states that you're going to show up in that court date. Okay, do that. Maybe do that. Okay. Any further questions?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
What's up, everybody? It's Danny from the Constitution State here today. I hope everybody's having a good day. Well, this is Catherine Koeppel. She was a Connecticut state trooper till just recently. Even though this all happened in, 2023? They just fired her. And to be honest, I'm even surprised they did that. Because the reasons that they're giving are things that other state troopers do on a daily basis. And yet nothing happens to them. She had her post-hearing last week. She went and she was going to speak, and then she backed out when she realized NBC was going to be there. She's lucky that I didn't know we could go to these things, because I would have been there too. And unlike NBC, I would have followed her out and asked her questions. Somebody sent me this late last night, along with the video of her getting fired. At this point, I just thought it was never coming because it's been so long. Just another great example of why, if you want to be a criminal, or if you're just a horrible person in general, or you have no skills, become a cop. Because even if they do fire you, it's a 2-3 year process. This is like her LinkedIn or something like that. Catherine Koeppel, strong organizational leader with a proven track record of success. No, you have a proven track record of being a liar and a loser. You're not supposed to drink and drive in that state vehicle at all. Zero tolerance. You were taking it out to eat. But as we've seen, there are other state troopers that have taken their cars to the bar, drank all night, and then fallen asleep on the side of the highway, and they still don't get fired. I have 15 years of experience as a detailed, thorough investigator. 2 of those years were in a supervisory capacity. Developing an understanding of scheduling, employee training, policy management, and implementation, and fine-tuning research formats. Furthermore, I have training in Salesforce, Fishbowl, and national and international shipping policies. I have a developed background in sales and office management. Weird. She's like the jack of all trades, she claims. Typical cop. They think they're doctors. They think they're psychiatrists. They think they're life coaches. So, of course, they think they could just do anything. Experience. So she's a paralegal right now at Sobo & Sobo, LLP. June 2025 to present. She just got this job. 3 months. And this is why she didn't want to be on the news. She thought this would affect her real job. And honestly, I hope it does. From what I've seen, she's gotten much better treatment than anybody else in this situation. Anybody else that took their vehicle and slammed it into somebody twice and then left the scene of an accident. And before that, she was an order fulfillment manager at Elko Motor Yachts, LLC. March 2024 to June 2025. 1 year, 4 months. Ensure all domestics and international shipping regulations are followed. LTL, air, ocean, hazmat, and non-hazmat. God, that sounds challenging. And unfortunately, before that, she was with the state of Connecticut for 15 years and 1 month. She was a detective manager from 2021 to 2023, 1 year and 11 months. Supervised and mentored 10 multidisciplinary detectives' performance, attendance, and career development. Maintain oversight and accountability. Yeah, okay. And I was going to say before that, but no, this is clearly while she was a state trooper. She was a TransUnion TLOXP administrator from June 2027 till July 2022. 5 years, 2 months. And while that was going on, she was a detective from January 2015 till December 2021. Resident state trooper from December 2009 till January 2015. 5 years, 2 months. This is the law office right here that she works for. Law office of Sabo and Sabo. It's in Waterbury, Connecticut. All the information is right here and will be in the description, just like all the other information in this video. These are some of the articles back from when it happened. Brookfield, a state police manager, has been charged with evading responsibility and following too close after rear-ending another car in her cruiser last weekend, according to an incident report. It's just comical. We watch police arrest people all the time and they tell them, take it like a man, handle it like an adult, stop acting like a child. But every time they're on the other end of this, look at what they do. They run, they hide, they cover it, they lie. Great examples, right? Great leaders for the community. They can't even do what they run around preaching all the goddamn time. State Police Manager Catherine Koeppel, 36, was charged after fellow troopers investigated a crash that occurred on Route 7 North near Route 202 in Brookfield about 7:30 p.m. Sunday, the report stated. And this is the worst part here. She didn't hit just anybody. She hit a 20-year-old college student that needed their car that she totaled to get back and forth to college. The other driver, a 20-year-old New Milford resident, was not injured, police said. Her car had to be towed from the scene, the report stated. They keep saying that she wasn't injured, but yet her lawyer says the complete opposite, that she was injured, that her car was totaled. Koeppel was also uninjured, police said. Her state police-issued Dodge Charger was also towed, the report said. But the report did not identify where Koeppel's cruiser was found in connection with the crash. Yeah, no duh, because it was found at her house. And this is why nobody should rely on the police or the mainstream media to put out anything. They should just go FOIA all the information themselves and get it. Because that's really the only way the truth will ever come out. You can't rely on them. The report said Koeppel rear-ended the other vehicle. She was charged and then released on a $500 non-surety bond with a court date of August 9th in State Superior Court in Danbury. They also didn't tell everybody that they didn't even arrest her or bring her in. They just met her in an empty parking lot of some state building somewhere and let her sign her papers and let her go. But remember, there's no two-tier justice system, right? And these losers are held to a higher standard. Remember that, right? And if that's the case, we should stop allowing them to get all these charges dismissed. Even if they would be dismissed for anybody else, for regular people, Complete This program will dismiss it. If it's a state trooper, they should not be dismissed. It should stay on their record. Since they love running around and lying to everybody's face and claiming like they're held to this mythical higher standard, maybe we should start holding them to this higher standard. Food for thought. Koeppel's police powers have been suspended pending an investigation, but she is working desk duty, state police said. She had been a state trooper since October 2008. The accident is under investigation, police said. Oh, here we go. Another underqualified, dumb state trooper earning over $200,000 a year. Koeppel earned $209,000 with overtime in 2021, according to the state open payroll website. Oh, and here we go. Koeppel is the second member of the state police who have been suspended this week. On Wednesday, state police said Trooper Jose Campos had been suspended pending an investigation into assault allegations. Go figure. The former manager, Catherine Koeppel, also later admitted to Internal Affairs that she had been texting at the time of the crash and that she had had a glass of wine while out to dinner earlier that night, according to the documents obtained by Hearst. And if that's true, why'd she run? Clearly, if it was just one glass of wine, she would have been under the legal limit. She still would have been violating the departmental policy of no drinking and driving those vehicles, but she wouldn't have been able to be charged for it. Instead, she fled the scene of an accident and then hid in her house, which says a lot about her character. She's pretty much a piece of shit. The Internal Affairs report says investigators were unable to prove whether Koeppel had any alcohol in her system at the time of the crash. They said that they couldn't find her receipt. Why didn't they go to the bar? Why didn't they pull the security camera footage? And why didn't they get her receipts from them? These are the same people that we trust to investigate all these other crimes. But if they do them like this, they should all be fired. We'd be better off with nobody doing this. Just saving the money. But the investigators found that Koeppel violated 6 other agency rules in the collision and its aftermath. Some of those offenses, intentionally lying to mislead investigators and failing to provide assistance to the other drivers she hit, could have resulted in Koeppel's termination. The investigators found Koeppel also failed to provide information to the investigators in the hours after the crash when they went to her home and tried to call her, and that she failed to exercise due care while driving her state vehicle. The report stated the investigation also found Koeppel exhibited conduct that reflected negatively on the department or emergency services and public protection. Again, that doesn't mean anything. Every one of them do that on a daily basis. But just like everything else, they only care when they want to care. After investigators determined she tailed another driver who witnessed the collision until they moved over and let her speed past, according to the report. Tailed isn't the word. When I think of tailing, I think you're just tailing them closely. There's a difference between tailing someone and ramming your vehicle into them. Just saying. State police said Koeppel separated from the agency on October 9th, 1 day shy of her 15-year anniversary with the department. State police have referred Koeppel to the Connecticut Police Officers Standard and Training Council for possible decertification. That would prevent her from being rehired as a police officer in Connecticut for at least 2 years. Tell me that's not pathetic. So if you get decertified, you're only decertified for 2 years and then you could reapply? That makes 0 sense. It should be if you're decertified forever. And you can't not just work in Connecticut, but you can't work in the whole United States as a police officer. Look at how much it takes to actually get decertified. So if you do get decertified, you truly are a scumbag, because it's not a bar that many can make, even with the wildest of crimes. And it gets worse. Koeppel was promoted to manager in December 2021 and was issued a 2019 Dodge Charger, an administrative management vehicle, the report said. At the time of the crash, Koeppel was a member of the State Police Western District Major Crime Squad, a unit responsible for handling high-profile cases and in-depth investigations. Whenever a murder or some other major case occurs in a small town in Western Connecticut, the unit is often called in to help local police with the investigation. This just blew my mind, too. In October, the woman who Koeppel hit filed a lawsuit against the state of Connecticut, alleging she suffered injuries and lost income as a result of the crash. The suit initially named Koeppel as a defendant, but she was removed in December, which I don't get how this makes any sense. Koeppel's lawyer had objected in a court filing to her being included as a defendant under the state law granting officers immunity from personal liability, and to her being named and identified under the state's Freedom of Information Act. Well, he doesn't really have any say what FOIA does. She can't just hide her name because she's a criminal. That's not a reason. And I don't understand how she got qualified immunity. She was drinking and driving. She was texting and driving. She was 100% liable. 2 things she's not supposed to be doing. Was she on duty? No. So she had to follow all the same traffic laws as everybody else. Yes, on duty, they get away with playing with their phones and their laptops and everything else that they shouldn't be doing, but it's exempt. Well, she wasn't on duty, so she shouldn't have been doing any of those things, which means that even if she wasn't drunk, right, this was all 100% her fault. And she left the scene of a crime, refusing to give help to a victim that she hurt. She should absolutely be liable. This is just another great reason why qualified immunity needs to go. Just like these trash collective bargaining agreements with the unions that let these retards take our vehicles home. Because they're allowed to drive them off duty. They're allowed to take them out of state. They're allowed to do whatever they want with these vehicles. On our dime. The state police keep saying that there was no injuries, right? State police reported that the woman who was hit was unhurt in the crash, but her lawyer, Joseph Foti, told Hearst Connecticut media his client needed physical therapy for neck and back injuries and that her car was totaled in the crash. He said his client had been stopped at a red light when Koeppel slammed into her from behind and sped off. Oh, it says here she admitted the next day that she actually hit a car and not a deer, because that's what she was saying the whole time. I hit a deer. And this is what makes no sense to me. Koeppel told investigators that between 5 and 6 p.m. on the day of the crash, she drove to a restaurant in Brookfield where she had dinner with her brother and had 1 glass of white wine, according to a report. She left around 9 p.m. and was driving her cruiser home when the crash occurred. Koeppel told investigators, according to the report. Again, if she had a drink around 5 or 6, she probably wouldn't even have had any alcohol in her system around 9. So why did she run? She ran because she was wasted. The great investigators didn't investigate it fully because they didn't want that to come out and they didn't want to look like trash, even though everybody knows that she was drunk. She wouldn't have ran if she wasn't drunk. So it just shows how inept and inadequate both sides are, not just her. Why do you think she acts like that? Look at what she's working with. I was just astonished they finally fired her. I thought it was about time. And now let's see what the arbitration board does. Because just like all these other cases, look at Randy Cox. The driver of that van caused the biggest police misconduct lawsuit in history, $45 million. They fired him. They didn't want him back. Oh, years later, arbitration got him his job back. So that's always a possibility. But either way, she got off lighter than anybody else would. She got off lighter than anyone. And it's astonishing because imagine anybody else doing that. When you go to court, I could just picture what the judge says. Oh, that was super dangerous. You left the scene of an accident. Blah, blah, blah. All this. Did Catherine get that? Did Catherine get told she's the piece of shit that she is, like a judge would do to anybody else? I doubt it. But I know we covered this a while ago. I thought we should cover the update and let everybody know she was fired, where she works now, what she's up to. So leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. We'll talk about it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.